and welcome to Blazers Ice Arena for Game 2 of 2 between the University of Alabama Crimson Tide and your Oklahoma Sooners. He sets up behind his net. He skates out but loses it to Fahey, dishes it to Bowman. Deke shoots and scores. Bossy will enter the zone. Drops it to Ray Wilson in the slot, shoots. Glove save by Osterman as the Sooners are back to full strength with 15 seconds left in the first. Zeke in the slot, shoots, scores. Zone. Drop pass to Ryan Johnson. Back to Nato. Backhand save by Phil Babb. Alabama. He dumps the puck in deep. Phil Babb out to play the puck. He loses it to Zeke, who wraps it around and scores. Walk it into the slot. Over to Bossy. One-timer shoots. He scores. Isaac Bossy with the one-timer from the far circle. Puck in deep, but Demers stops it. Tries to drop it, but gets it to Pusar. Over to Scott Joy in the slot. Shoots. He scores. Another goal for the Sooners. In the draw for the Sooners, he loses it to Taylor Bowman. Messina now all alone in the slot. Backhand. Oh, and it just squeaks by Phil Babb. Out of the zone, Pusar now with the puck. He makes a quick move into the slot. Drops it for Joy. He shoots. And it's in. Josh Pusar drop pass to Scott Joy at the top of the left circle. Exits the zone, but it hits the ref's leg. Right back to Jolly. He'll tee one up, and he scores! Charles Jolly enters the blue line and lets a slap shot go, and it beats Osterman on his blocker side. Cam Brown now with the puck, tries to circle back, finds Wilson, who will shoot, and scores! Making the score 6-4. That will seal the deal here. 2-1, and the horn sounds. Sooners sweep the Alabama Crimson Tide as they win the second game here, 6-4 at Blazers Ice Arena.
Hello and welcome into another edition of The Locker Room. I'm your host, as always, Ben Thomas here. I felt like the football committee was very generous. I thought it was about right when they lost to LSU. It was a 2-3 game, 2-seed, 3-seed. They fell to 5. I was expecting it to be maybe 6-7, but after this loss to Auburn, who was at 15 and is now up to 11, they jumped Bama with 3 losses. I mean, I guess I'm agreeing with you. I'm very surprised by 12, being that the 2 losses are very quality losses. So now you have to look at who has a better one loss. U of I beating Wisconsin or Baylor's one loss. I think that Baylor loss is still better and would get them in. Besides them beating Texas A&M, who at the time was ranked 12, at home week 2, they've played Georgia Tech, Syracuse, UNC. They only won by 1 to the Tar Heels. At Florida State, beat them. Louisville, beat them. Boston College, Wofford, NC State, Wake Forest, South Carolina. Beat these teams. Everybody, from the time that they started playing FSU down, OU was playing Tech, Baylor. Every game, Iowa State. Oklahoma's playing these tough teams, and Clemson's playing Wofford. Bama's strength of schedule this year was horrendous because they didn't have that first game of the year. They usually play some ranked team. Mm-hmm. They played Duke this year. Yes, now they played Auburn and LSU, but they didn't play anybody else.
2 big losses as well whenever they played ranked teams.
Exactly. I think so. That's what I'm saying. If Clemson loses one game and Oklahoma, who has beaten 5 ranked teams, beating Baylor this weekend, hypothetically, knock on wood they do. Utah, who has to beat Oregon for I think that's their 3rd ranked win of the year, something like that, over Clemson, who's beaten 1 ranked team and couldn't beat a 23rd ranked Virginia team. I mean, sure. I could see them falling out of it to exactly number 5. We play every team in our conference, and you just mentioned right there that teams like TCU is giving OU tough games. Sure. That says something about the conference. That means that they're playing tough games every week against conferences. Yes, Texas Tech and Kansas weren't, but K-State, they lost to Kansas State, who's 8-4. Kansas State wasn't. I mean, they're an 8-4, and they're going to play in a good bowl this year. I mean, so you're looking at a tough schedule each week, and I said that to my sister at Bama because she's like, "Well, Our schedule, how's our schedule not that good? We're playing A&M. A&M, no. Mississippi State, no. Ole Miss, no. They've only played LSU and Auburn because they don't play the other teams like Georgia, like Florida, like all these other teams in the SEC that are really good.
Over to Carr at the far side wing, back to Martinelli at the top of the key. Looking for a pass, over to Will King, over to Hubbard at the far side wing. Looking for a pass, doesn't really have one, over to Carr at the far side corner. Then over to Will King at the top of the key. Down low to Carr, and
Will.
a basket by Carr. What a pass by Will King. He drives in, dishes it out to Yanni Mavrakis, who dribbles back to the top of the key. Over to Martinelli at the far side wing. Over to Will King at the top. Over to Carr, who fakes a shot and then dishes it down low to Mavrakis in the post. He posts up, dishes it back it out, dishes it over to Morse on the near side wing. Then Mavrakis on the far side corner, dribbling it around, looking for the pass. Passes it to Martinelli, top of the key, over to Mavrakis at the far side wing. Back to King at the top of the key, over to Carr, near side wing. Swings it to Morse at the top of the key. He finds Mavrakis, who drives in and goes up for the layup and misses it. Goldstein at the top of the key with the ball. Screen set. He drives in, dishes it to Will King in the far side corner, fakes the shot. Over to Morse at the top of the key, back to Mavrakis near side wing, down to Martinelli in the post. He drives and lays up and misses, and a rebound again by Hersey.
And we are back here at the Blazers Ice Arena just under 6 minutes before puck drops for the second period, and the score is tied 2-2 between the Alabama Frozen Tide and your Oklahoma Sooners. Honestly, it should be a 2-0 game. The Sooners really have outplayed Alabama for most of this game. Couple little mistakes by the Sooners has led to the Alabama goals. Unfortunate mistakes, but that stuff happens. True, and in the first 5 minutes, the Sooners do have 1:07 left on their power play. Bowman was the one who took the penalty for Alabama, one of the goal scorers in this game as well. Definitely need to get that next goal, establish some momentum, and I think after that, I think the Sooners will definitely come out here in the second period firing, because I definitely believe Berge is not impressed with that first period, giving up two kind of softer goals. Like you said, tapped it past Babb, and the Sooners have been just firing them past Nielsen. A lot of missed opportunities as well.